Greetings from Christian News and Interviews. There is a story that has been in the news for over a week now, and I've been waiting to find out the motive surrounding the story and the young lady's situation before jumping in. There still has not been any motive listed, but for those of you who have never heard of this story, you have been following the story, I'm going to quickly give you a recap and then share my views.
The FBI is investigating a Charlotte woman's death in Mexico. We first told you about Shanquella Robinson exactly 1 week ago here at 11, and that is when our Brandon Hamilton spoke with her family. They told him the 25-year-old went on a trip to Mexico with friends nearly 3 weeks ago. Well, her friends came back home, but she didn't. She was found dead in Cabo San Lucas. Every day since, every day, Brennan has first broken the story. He has been pressing Mexican authorities and the FBI for answers. So he joins us now in the studio. Brandon, walk us through everything that's happened since you first learned about this 25-year-old Shanquella Robinson's death.
Yeah, well, Molly, these past 3 weeks all came full circle today with the FBI publicly announcing they're investigating how she died. Now, I put together a timeline of how we got here.
October 29th is the day Shanquella Robinson's parents say they learned she was dead in Cabo, Mexico. On November the 11th, in our first interview, they maintain she did not die from alcohol poisoning like they say her friends had told them. An autopsy showed her spine had been cracked. This week, a major twist. On Wednesday, the FBI confirmed they were sent a viral video of an apparent fight. Thursday, Mexican authorities confirmed they were investigating her death as a killing. The next day, the FBI publicly announced their own investigation into Shanquella's death. This case has reached thousands of people across the nation. Civil rights activist and daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Bernice King, posting the hashtag Shanquella Robinson. Celebrities also donating to a GoFundMe page that, as of Friday night, has raised nearly $150,000.
Okay, so Shanquella's death gaining a lot of attention, as you just said, worldwide, really, but also here in Charlotte. Today, Brandon, you were on several radio stations giving updates about the reporting of this story.
Yeah, Molly, that is important because the fact Shanquella, she grew up right here in Charlotte. Right. She is a Charlotte native. And again, so her death has been the talk of a lot of conversations. I talked with Janine Davis over at V101.9 and DJ Ace at 102.5 The Block about this case.
Okay, so instead of going over to them, I'm going to go to Shanquella's Instagram page. She describes herself as a kid's braider, and let's see if we can find a few of her examples of. She was very talented. Okay, so this is her Instagram page that shows pictures of hairstyles that she completed on children's. Look at this, very talented. Apparently this person has alopecia, and she's going to show us how she's going to help this person. Let's see. Okay, she's showing us where this person's hair is starting to grow in. Here's another cute little girl. She specialized, that's unusual, by the way. She specialized in working with children. Oh, look at this. Look how pretty this is. Look at this. Very talented young lady. And this was her business. She specialized in braiding hair for little girls. Which is you. Oh, look at this. This is a little heart. So she was very creative. Imagine having a little girl and taking a little girl to get her hair done, and just absolutely beautiful styles. And so Shanquella made a lot of money. She made a lot of money. And with her money, she liked to have fun. She liked to travel. Let's see if I can get back to her page. Okay. She liked to travel because she made a lot of money. She was single, didn't have any children. So here she's going to Tennessee. Here you see she's going to Jamaica. Here you see she's going to Vegas. Here she's talking about going to New Jersey. Here she's going to some fair somewhere. Over here she's going to Miami. So this is a woman who loved to travel. And she liked to buy expensive things, which she could do because she had her own business. This is an Yves Saint Laurent bag she's holding here. Yeah, this is an Yves Saint Laurent bag and Yves Saint Laurent glasses. But again, she worked hard. She could afford these things. Here she is saying, I don't want a tax. I want to go to Jamaica. So this is a woman who loved to love life. And she loved to go on trips. Here she's wearing some Gucci stockings. She liked expensive things. But again, when you're working for your own money, you can buy whatever you want. Okay, here she's in a bathing suit. She liked to swim. Just wanted to give you all a picture of who she was and what she enjoyed doing. She's telling you to follow her on her business page. So not only did she do hair, but she also had a little boutique. So this is a young lady who had it going on. And unfortunately, when you're in her situation, you are going to meet some shady characters along the way. She was 25 years old, but unfortunately, she was not good at picking friends. And she had attracted some hangers-on. And these hangers-on, some of them were using her for her money. They didn't like her, but they liked her money. I can't prove this, but I read online that even the trip to Mexico, she paid for some of them. The purpose of the trip to Mexico was to celebrate the birthday of one of her friends. It was a quote unquote friends. That was the purpose of the trip. Not all of them could afford to go to Mexico, so she sponsored the trip for some of them, if not all of them. And she paid for the villa that they lived in. So this is a girl who was being used and taken advantage of. She was basically buying friends. I don't know if she even realized that she was purchasing friends. There's a video, which I'm not going to post here, of her walking through the villa saying, hey, everybody, it doesn't take that long to get naked. In other words, she's saying it doesn't take that long to get into your bathing suits. Let's go and hop in the pool. Because again, this is somebody who liked to have fun. And as you can see, she apparently could swim. Here she is in a bathing suit. So she's telling her friends, doesn't take that long to get naked. Come on, let's go. Basically, she's saying, let's go on outside and have some fun. She was ready to go and have fun. So there's this video of her walking through the villa. She's telling them, hey, let's go. She walks into a room and you could almost feel the energy in that room. It was a very dire, very dark, very weak, very unwelcoming energy that was in that room. They looked up at her. They were not happy to see her. There were no smiles. You could tell that she was persona non grata. They wanted no parts of her. Now, the question remains, how did she get on an airplane with this type of energy? Well, something else I've heard, and I don't know that any of this is true. But remember, we don't have a motive yet. There's a rumor, which is all we have right now, that while the people were on the plane, they got the message that she was involved in some nefarious situation involving one of the girl's cousins that didn't end well. And so they turned on her. Now, that could be a total lie, so don't take that and run with it. That could be a total lie that someone's making up. What I do believe is that something serious happened to cause them to attack her the way they did. Whether she was guilty or not, they thought she was, because people don't just jump on people for nothing. So I do believe that they believed something about her that they had heard, which caused them to turn on her. Now, her so-called best friend is a male. If you go online, you will find her best friend behind a camera saying to her as she's being beaten and attacked savagely by a woman, one of her so-called friends. This person who goes by the name of Deja or Dejanay, her so-called male friend is in the background saying, "Aren't you at least going to fight back?" And she said, "No." Feminine women don't like to get engaged in fistfights. Did you all know that? This was a feminine woman. Feminine women don't like to fight. But her friend was real rough looking. Do I have a picture of her? I don't have a picture right now of her friend, but her friend is really rough looking. And that type of person, when I was growing up, we used to call them tackheads. A tackhead is just a roughneck, low class type of a woman. And that was the type of chick this was that she was hanging out with. And this girl beat her unmercifully. And but that wasn't the only beating that she took that evening. After that friend beat her up, then another one came in and beat her up. So that's why I'm saying something happened, which ultimately resulted in her death. So I'm left with questions. What was the motive of the beating? Why didn't her best friend help her or stop the fight, as opposed to standing there and watching Dejanay beat this girl unmercifully? Why didn't he jump in to end the beating? Why did the second girl, allegedly named Winter, why did she launch a second attack, which people believe was the death blow to her spine and her neck? And why did her so-called friends not stop it? There were at least 6 of them around. We don't have answers. But one thing's for sure. Now that the FBI is involved in this case, we will get to the bottom of it. So I'm going to tell you all, as I always do, stay tuned.